Well, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. This meeting's for the purpose of answering questions, information on what's happened and what has been going on. You had a sign-up sheet. I don't know where Dwayne's at, but we will go in that order. Everybody will have 2 minutes to speak, ask their questions. I ask that you remain orderly. One person speaks at a time, no interruptions. Let everybody have a chance to speak. Thank you all. First up, Dwayne.
Pick it up. Okay, already.
I said no interruptions.
Difficulty.
2 minutes is up? Okay. All right. My name's Tanya White, and I live in Newtown. I have leukemia, and my biggest concern with this water is, what's it going to do to us in the long run. Since this water issue, I've had to go get biopsies on my lip today and on my back for places that I did not have. I have stitches in my back. And so some of the questions that somebody wanted me to ask was, Danny, when was you actually notified of the vandalism or the spill? Who notified you? Like, when were you notified and who notified
Are
you?
you done with your question, and I'll answer them as you go, or how do you?
Well, the question is, when was you notified? When did you notify the community? And how long did AEP know before they told you about the contamination?
I'll answer that in 1 second. I'd like to go over here to the right and everybody on the panel introduce themselves and who they are.
My name is George Porter with AEP. Jason Breen, I'm with the State Department of Health. I'm the Director of the Office of Environmental Health Services.
Brad Wright, West Virginia DEP, Environmental Enforcement. Dr. Kevin King, Health Officer.
Matt McCarthy, Oklahoma Environmental Health Services Chief Engineer. Dr. Mark McDaniel, State Health Officer.
Dr. Rachel Cruikshank, Director of the Poison Center. Vicki Taylor, Assistant Director for Division of Mining and Reclamation.
Jenna Stottlemyre, the Environmental Advocate for the Department of Environmental Protection.
All right, Tom, to answer your question, I was the one that notified Wayne County Emergency Management, and BJ Willis contacted DEP, and that was on the 13th.
And when did you notify when was we told? It was notified on the 13th. When was it you notified?
On January 13th, DEP came down, notified Shannon, my operator, that there was a spill in East Lynn. Detailed description reports a oil sheen on the water at 12 pole. The cause is unknown. The sheen is located behind the diesel shop, and that would be up around Peter Cave. On the 14th, please see spill report. This is coming from the health department. Transformer oil was spilled in East Lynn. Quantity is unknown at this time. Detailed description, transformer oil cleanup crew is en route, and assessment to be given upon arrival. Cause of spill was vandalism, undergoing cleanup now. On the 15th, according to the update, the spill was able to be contained on site. Detailed description. An assessment will be given upon arrival. Cause of the spill was vandalism. Undergoing cleanup. Still update. Spill crew is on scene. DEP inspector was on site. Well, it says a 4-mile creek, but that would be 12 mile. Creek was able to be contained. Update confirmed amount of spill 4,820 gallons. Is material hazardous or toxic? Yes. The 13th, the report was, is material hazardous or toxic? The answer was no. To this point, no. Up to this point, there was no issue. It was contained. I was not informed. I informed DEP and Emergency Management. 16th, about 2 o'clock in the morning is when I started it, yes. But up to that point, I had no information or any details of any hazards to the water plant itself.
Next question.
My name's Sean Moore. I just recently bought a house over here in the town of Wayne. So why were we not notified until 3 days after the vandalism happened?
Yes.
That
Please, no interruptions.
I have two
Please.
family members that are in my household that have compromised immune systems. I need to know the long-term effects for this. How long it's going to take to officially clean up, because there's still containment things over here on 12 pole, which tells me it's not contained. And you can still drive by the water and still see stuff floating.
Can I refer to somebody from DEP about cleanup and Dr. about any hazard?
Hi, so I'm Dr. Mark McDaniel, State Health Officer, and beside me is Rachel Cruikshank. She's with Poison Control. So from a standpoint of hazard, this is only a hazard with aspiration. And you have to have, and the aspiration has to occur if you swallow it and then would vomit and aspirate that way. There's no hazard at all with drinking it. And the quantities that were there is such low levels that it's not a concern. Bring it to me. Get a glass of water. In fact, let me tell you.
Please,
right here's the
Mr.
water right
Wilson,
here.
no outbreaks, please.
I have already drank the water, to be honest with you, and so is the Secretary.
How do we get rid of the smell out of our house?
The smell is due to the smell. When you're saying that the detect is our threshold to detect it, you're looking at parts per billion. So you're like one drop of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, okay? Your nose can detect down to lower thresholds than that in parts per trillion. So you can smell it, but there's no detect on it.
Where's the test results before you guys?
You'll have a chance to ask your question in a minute. Let them finish, and then when you're on the list, you will be called upon.
Can we repeat the cleanup question so that I can answer accurately? I forget who asked.
So if it came and it's cleaned up, why do we still have barriers over on 12 pole?
Those barriers will stay in place until remediation on the upper end of the site is completed. That's standard for spill cleanup. There is still material on the upper end that is still being collected currently. Also, with cleanup of material like this, you will see some amount of sheen for some time after this that wouldn't be recoverable, but it's still going to be visible. That is typical of cleanups of this type, sir.
Before we wrote about 3 days, they've been drinking and eating that water. So, and I've had to take her back to the doctor already because of this. So you're going to tell me that there's no long-term effects?
Once again, I'll repeat, there's no dermatological or ingestion effects on this. This is not a GI or derm issue. And if you want, I'll let you talk to Rachel Cruikshank, Poison Control, and she can elaborate on it.
I'll take it to the doctor. We'll have to test them that way. That answers all the questions that I have.
All right, Dwayne, next.
Kate, Ian. Dora's next.
Ma'am, that will be the last outburst.
Okay, I'm Dora Theory. I called the water office this morning because my water has been blue all weekend long. They told me to get a hold of DEP. DEP told me to get a hold of the health department. So, what's up with the blue water? I have pictures if you all want to see. And you all say that it's contained. Why can I walk across the road to 12 Hope from my house and I still see water, oil going down 12 Hope? Nobody can answer my questions?
I'll speak to the last part. As I mentioned, you will see some sheen as the remediation is ongoing. And there are some sections further up in 12 Pole where our inspections are documenting that recovery is still ongoing.
Okay. My next question is, whenever the water test got sent to Charleston, Michigan, or wherever, why was the seals broken and some of them not have no seals at all?
So there was a trip blank, and I have to get a little technical here. A trip blank is distilled water that you take along when you take other types of samples. It itself is not a sample that we collect in the field. It is a blank from the lab. Our inspector cracked the lid of the trip blank. Mistakenly, there was an additional trip blank.
Okay, there was more than just one. I seen that one where they put in the comments, but there was some that was delivered without seals, and there was some delivered with the seals broken. If you go to the West Virginia DEP site and bring up the test results, you will see them.
You may be referring to custody seals, which would be used in criminal investigations. We did not use custody seals on this field sampling. So
Okay.
there would not have been seals of that type on this.
Can you tell me why I got blue water?
I do not know. I would be interested to see what pictures you have, but I do not know.
There's nothing. No, there's nothing. Nothing. Y'all can come to my house. Here's what it looks like if it's sitting still. It's got oil in it too. You stick your hands in there, you pull it out, and it's the oil that you don't even have to put lotion on. It's coming out my sink. It's coming out my sink like that too. Oh, it's coming out my sink too, so it can't be something. I mean, whenever it's coming straight from the faucet.
Dora, we will come up and take a sample from your meter and see what's going into your house.
Okay, that's fine, but I have oil in my lungs, I have oil in my
Well,
heart.
that's what I'm saying. We will come up and take a sample from your meter and see what's going on.
Okay, what about taking a sample from the house too? Because it's all in my lungs. I mean, I don't have nothing to hide.
Well,
What did
will you allow us to go in your house and
Yes,
take
I
the
will.
sample? Okay.
What did y'all use to flush the system out? with?
Water.
You can't flush oil with water because it just runs over top of it.
And that is the procedure that you do. You keep flushing. Dilution is the best process to do anything like this. You dilute the pollutants. Next question.
Next.
Tammy Williamson. Tammy.
She's right there.
Hi, I'm Tammy Williamson. I've got a few questions wrote down, so I'll try to skip through the one that's already been asked. I am concerned that we were not notified for 3 days later. You found out on the 13th. There's a lot of people in our community that have health issues, that are immunocompromised, cancer. We should have been told before that. We should have known. You're putting a lot of people at risk, Danny. And I've known you for years. But it really concerns all of us. I'm concerned too why the local, the state, the many entities over here did not bring in facilities for us. I know someone else did. We got the showers. We didn't have handicap showers. There's a lot of people in our area that can't walk up those steps. I had a hard time walking up to do my laundry. So what about these people? They were left behind. Let's see what else I got. Did you guys take in water for disabled people? There's a lot of people that was left out. I don't think their needs were met like they should have been. We're not satisfied with the testing results. No. They was not let out to us for us to look at. There was no transparency. Sometimes it was a long time after before we found out. And it seemed like it was not let known to us until we started complaining. And then, boom, there was a post. I still have a concern whether or not the water's clean. I know there's booms still out, there's airboats still out. If the oil sheen is still there, if there's stuff in it and the water's still coming out with smells or blue water or whatever, you're not going to make us feel safe with that. We need to feel safe, and we don't. And it seems like we're just being pushed to the side, like, oh, it's fine. But it's not. We've had a young lady here in our community that's had to go to the ER twice. She was pushed into ICU last night because she couldn't breathe. She's still in the hospital. There are major concerns in this community, and it doesn't feel like we're being addressed and being helped at all. Who's going to be held responsible for our water bills for this stoppage? We shouldn't have to pay that. We haven't been told that. Are we still going to be responsible for that? Or is the town or AEP, Lexington Coal, who's going to take care of that? And I know I'm talking a lot, so you've got a lot of, but I'll go back and ask you again if I need to. Will AEP, Lexington Coal, are they going to be responsible for the damage it's done? Not just cleanup, not just the water being given out, because I know AEP's helped a lot with the water. They're down at Save Lot, and we're thankful for that. We're thankful for the water. But who's going to be held responsible for the real damages it's done? We're worried about our plumbing, our appliances. Are they going to continue to stay here and do the cleanup measures? Who's going to help us with our household needs? Frequently asked questions. So it says the water is safe. There's still the odors and discoloration, so we've got the concerns with that. Frequently asked questions says there was a second incident that happened on February 3rd. Why was we not told about that? Why was there no cameras there? You already knew there was an incident there. Why were no cameras there? Why was there no security there? So how are we supposed to feel safe and trust you guys when this happened again? It's just ridiculous. Sorry, I'll lower my voice. I'm sorry.
Tammy, to answer your first question, you may have to remind me your second, third, and fourth, but to answer your first question, I was never given any information that there was going to be a problem with the sheen that DEP seen on the creek. It was a non-issue. That was on the 13th. I got a phone call on the 14th about a sample of somebody smelling an odor. That is nothing unusual to get a random call of an odor. There's lots of things that can cause an odor. That was on the 14th. The 15th, I had 2 more. That's when I started getting raising a little bit concern, and then on Thursday, the 15th, I started getting multiple calls. That's when I went out and flushed the hydrant in Spunky, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when I called the order.
When was the sheen there?
The sheen was found on the 13th.
Then we should have
That was not anything that the DEP said was concerning. I have to listen to those kind of things. That's where my judgment come in. When the DEP told me there was no problems, no issue with the sheen.
Respectfully, the DEP's full of crap. We should have known.
Well,
We should have been
let me say this too, Tammy. There's sheens coming down 12 pole every day, all the time. Because they're,
and given that option to use our water.
they didn't find the transformer, I think, until the 14th. Is that right, DEP?
So we did respond on the 13th, and we did go and trace it back to the transformer on the 13th. Also, when BJ called the state spill line, that triggers an automatic notification to DEP, to health, and to the water plant. So the water plant was notified of this incident when we were, at the exact same time. So they were aware, and my understanding is that they instituted a sheen watch, and we're continuing to watch the stream from that point on while we were responding.
And Mayor, I just want to add to that just a little bit more. The sheen watch is the proper procedure when there's a petroleum spill. The mayor's personnel at the water plant implemented that procedure on Tuesday and continued the sheen watch until Friday when the sheen was visible at the plant. So they took protective actions between Tuesday and Friday, and they were the proper protective actions.
Respectfully, I think that needs to be changed. And I think everybody here would agree that that protocol needs to be changed.
So I definitely understand your feelings, but I can also add that there are multiple petroleum spills across the state every day. Not transformer spills, typically they're transportation spills. But disseminating that information to every town during every spill may not be practical. And I understand that this situation turned out to be probably a higher level incident, I think we can all say at this point. But you have to realize the total picture across the state every day with petroleum spills.
You have to realize that this.
Hold, ma'am. That's the second time I've warned you to stay down. Okay. That'll be the last time.
Okay. Next question.
It's not working?
My name's Larry. It may not be working.
It worked for us.
We can hear you, Larry. Go ahead.
First off, my name's Larry Wilson. I want to say hi to John Reed. Hey, by far the best manager I've ever had in my entire life for 12 years at Lowe's. Thank you, John. All right, so, Danny, my questions revolve around you, and she touched base, okay? Why did you wait to tell everybody? Well, even if it wasn't a concern of yours, or thinking it was going to work, yes, it's not working very well. There you go. How long have you been in this business, Danny?
In what business?
Being a mayor.
Almost 9 years.
Okay, so you've dealt with a lot of water bodies. We have a boil water body about every month.
Yes, sir.
Right? Don't everybody agree with that? Boil water bodies about every month?
Yeah, and that's required by the state. Anytime we have a leak or you lose pressure, it is required by me to have a boil water advisory.
Perfect. So right there you contradict yourself. If you know about it, there's going to be boil water. Why didn't you just say boil water advisory until we knew what was going on? You said nothing, Danny.
A boil water advisory would have nothing to do with an oil sheen.
But you guys said it would. Running hot water through it's going to clear it up.
No, sir, I never said
Yes,
that.
you did, Danny. I seen you on the morning at Marathon. You were laughing about it, dude. You said, I'm going to drink my coffee, put some bleach in it, and wash your dishes. That's exactly what you did, Danny.
No, I didn't, sir.
Yes, you did, Danny.
No,
Now,
I didn't. Listen. Hey, listen. If you got a question about this water, please ask it.
Drink a cup of water, Danny. No. I want to pour it myself. I want you to see you get from the faucet. Let's go. Let's see it. Who all wants to drink water?
Hey, Danny, I don't think you need any stunts.
Check. Anyone else? Here come the judge.
Folks, while we're waiting, I just want to clarify that a boil water notice addresses biological contamination, bacteria. Again, as the mayor stated, it would not do anything for a petroleum contamination event.
Back there shaking, trying to drink it. It's good. Shaking. I got one more thing to say to this. Come here, the other two. Get back to the water. I'm nervous to drink the water.
Frank Steele.
I got a couple more things to say. Danny,
One second, let me finish my water.
what's up, buddy? Slow it down.
I've been drinking it the whole time.
That way it looks like
Okay, what's your next question?
no. All right, Danny, I lost respect.
Ready for the next question?
Next question. We're not talking about respect. We're not talking about respect for me or anything else. This is a water. This is a water issue.
I want you to say something.
Please. This is it.
Danny was crazy.
Next question.
All right, can you hear me?
Where you at?
I'm back here.
Okay, I got you.
All right. I'd like to say, to start off with, I've been watching from the beginning, paying pretty close attention, and I've seen a lot of stuff that really shouldn't be happening. Folks, we're a community. We should be pulling together and not splitting apart. And I see people attacking Danny, unjust, really. Danny done everything he thought was right from the beginning. And he might have made some mistakes. We all do. But we need to be a community. We need to pull together. all of us. Danny's part of the community. He's affected the same as we are. But I want to thank everybody that's went above and beyond. We've got Harry, we've got Michael Atkins, we've got these law enforcement. They've had to do extra because of this situation. I want to thank everybody who's went above and beyond and participated and helped in this situation. And I think from this, at least this point forward, my question is, I would like to ask everybody to pull together and not separate. And Danny, would you give the people your word that from this point forward, you'll be transparent and honest with the people?
That's the last outburst, lady. Okay? I don't have anything to apologize for. I did everything I should have done in appropriate time, and I took appropriate actions. Am I sorry this spill happened? Yes. This is nothing I wanted to do. This is nothing I wanted for my community. I live in this community. I have children in this community. I have grandchildren in this community. Do you think that I would put those people in jeopardy to save me? And I'm sorry that, huh? No, I mean, I'm not, for what you want me to apologize for what I did, and I won't, because I would do the same thing over again.
I just ask you to be honest and
Oh,
transparent.
okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have been as honest as we can. We've been as transparent as we can. Every time we've got tests, we have posted those tests. I don't know what more I could have done, or the panel over here could have done. Any of us. We worked diligently to get this done.
I just want to ask everybody, there shouldn't be no this side or that side. We're all on the same boat. We're all on the same side. I just want to ask everybody, please try to do better.
I agree. Next question.
Harry Sowers.
As he said, my name is Harry Sauer, and I think now there was a post made by our county commission that this was a group of small bad actors. I think you can look around this room and kind of see that it's a little bit more than a couple bad actors. It's a group of concerned citizens that's going to be here more, no matter who that is. And when I signed I'm talking to the doctor here because he had a comment earlier about parts per billion and one part. When I signed my contract with Wayne Water, I didn't sign a contract to have a part per thousand, a part per million, a part per hundred, a part per billion. I signed up for clean, safe drinking water for my children. That's what I signed up for. Okay, and I know that you probably don't understand that from where you're sitting, but that's what we signed up for. We pay for that every single month. We pay for that.
Sir, I'd just like to comment that Wayne's Water meets all regulatory standards. EPA agrees with that, the state agrees with that, and I'll certainly defer to Dr. McDaniel to chime in also.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
So, as he said, it meets the Safe Water Drinking Act, all the guidelines on there. This has been tested. There's no detect on the water. I know everyone's kind of upset and the fact that it's been this long, but honestly, Mayor Grace, this was an abundance of caution. And sure, mineral oil is not supposed to be in the water, which is why he put the restriction on there until we could get non-detect on it. This water, I can tell you, has been tested so much that I feel safer drinking this than my water in my own spigot. And I did drink it. And just poison controls here too. If you'd like to discuss, we can let her talk, and she could talk about the water itself and what your concerns about.
No, I appreciate that. But she can go talk to the lady that's in the ICU after this if she'd like to do that. My next question is where in the heck is Lexington Coal? And that maybe the mining and reclamation person can answer that. Or is there a representative from Lexington Coal anywhere in this building? That's crickets. It's been like that the last 3 meetings. I know y'all pay these people millions of dollars out of your all's budget and stuff like that to reclaim these mines, and they get money for mine reclamation. You'd think they'd at least care enough to show up and talk to the people. My last question is, when you called the meeting to order. You said the Wayne Water Board is now in order. Who sits on that board? Can you tell us?
Everyone up here.
Okay, and I teach school here, so we'll do it like this. Can anybody show me a show of hands that's on the Wayne Water Board that agreed and voted to lift the water ban?
That is in my control, Harry.
Then why do we have a Wayne Water Board? Why are we paying 5 people a salary to do nothing?
The regulations for the state is that is my control and my call whether to put a ban on something or lift it.
And I get that, but I hear everybody say, poor Danny, everybody's so hard on him. This is the first time I've ever addressed you. Would you agree that it makes it easier to consult with the 5 or 6 people that's on that board to get their input on it to think that it's safe?
Well, let me ask you this. I've already been criticized for taking too long. Am I going to wait another 24 hours before I act?
Well, you had 72 before you reacted the first time. So.
Am I going to wait another 24?
Or you could have did that in the first 72. Anyway, the question is...
No, I'm answering your question. Did you want me to take an extra day to do that?
I think I answered your question back. I don't know how more plain to put this, but
okay.
You had 72 hours, and that first 24 hours you waited, you could have told them. They feel like they've been left out. Every one of them up there, whether they'll tell you that or not, every one of them feel like they were left out of that decision.
Next question, please.
Sam Atkins.
I want to know when was the first time AEP was notified? Was they notified last year about any oil spills, any transformers missing?
Can you hear me? Yeah. I want to know if there was any transformers reported missing last year or
Vandalized.
last year.
Yes,
Up there. It was, wasn't it?
We have.
How big was that? How many gallons did they hold?
Say that one more time.
How many gallons did they hold?
The transformers that were vandalized?
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure.
I know. They just
They were 55-gallon barrels, and they were 6 or 8 gallons.
and they was all destroyed laying in the creek. And these
Y'all have the military up there doing their military training. I was up there many a time because my cattle got loose, and they'd go up there, so they let me in the gates to go get them. Well, I was up there talking to these military people. They say, we used to sleep in this building right here, but we can't sleep in this building no more because the vandalism, the kids or people have been inside there tearing transformers apart and taking the copper out of them. So what that means is this shit's been running in the creeks for years. And I know AEP knowed about it. I know the gas company went by and seen it. I know the police went by and seen it. I know all kinds of four-wheeler people have seen it, hunters, everybody's seen it. And just the other day, I went up there to the gate and told them again, where 3 more transformers were laying on the side of the hill in the creek. I gave the man my phone number, the woman my number and everything. Did anybody call me to ask me where them damn transformers is? No. They're still laying in the damn water. They're still putting the water, people.
I'm
You
unfamiliar.
don't have no idea, do you?
I have no idea what transformers you're referring to.
You
Sorry.
just told me you had reports of them being vandalized.
Are you talking about those transformers or just transformers in general? We have thousands. We have thousands of transformers throughout our territory.
How
So
many transformers are supposed to be on that mine?
I'm not exactly. Are you talking about transformers on the mine or just in general?
On the mine.
Oh, I
I
have no idea how many transformers are on that mine.
AEP does, don't they?
I'm with AEP.
We need to get that record and see how many transformers is up there and how many are gone. All those more are gone or dumped out in the creek.
All right, I'll take that note down and we'll look into that.
I've been there all my life.
Let's move along.
I've
Next.
been on that all I ain't done. I've been on that mine board. Anybody here? Probably more than the coal miners have. So you're
Okay, let's move on. Next question.
Here's my damn water.
Thank you, Terry.
Anybody want to drink or smell it?
So Sir, I will come to your house personally and take a sample. No, I'm not going to see nothing that you carried in here, but I will come to your house. I will come to your house personally and take a sample.
I have already sent
I
you
will.
a message. I asked you about my water container, what to do. You never even read my message. So
I will come to your house and take a sample.
You will not come to my house.
Well, then
Anybody else can, but you cannot.
then don't bring anything in there like that and expect me to
This
believe
came out
that.
my goddamn water.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Let's move on.
Look there, that's not letting me
I'm
know
done.
water.
Officer. Officer.
They know it too, buddy. They was there. Was you not there? Not you. Where's the state police? They was up there. They seen the manager. Yes, sir. You smell it. I had a question. What's that smell like? Yeah. Hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm out here. I'm at the game.
Next question, please. Next, ma'am, sit down. Next question. Next question, please.
Hi, I'm Becky. Hey.
Everybody should walk out with you in support.
Dwayne, who's next? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Becky Perry. You know, that the of our leadership have not been the most professional. The news media here and everyone that's filming.
I hope that with the news media filming and everyone speaking, you don't use that as a reflection on our community. Our community is scared.
Our community is overwrought. They don't know what information that we've been given, if it's true or if it's false or if it's contained. I have 4 questions though. 2 of them for Danny and a couple for AEP. So in hindsight, what has this incident revealed about how the public is informed during a contamination event? And as the mayor, what are your limitations, if any, which I think you answered that a moment ago, that would have prevented you from exercising local authority to implement precautionary measures prior to waiting on the state for, their level of action? You as mayor could have made that decision on Tuesday or Wednesday, even if first of all, someone I think said earlier that there's no abundance of caution. That's no such thing as that. We should have used all caution regardless. So I'll let you answer that, Danny. Go ahead.
Like I said, I was never informed or of any possibility of contamination on the 13th or 14th. It was an oil sheen, and like I say, that's all. We were on sheen watch at the water plant, and we checked this out continuously 24 hours a day for the next 3 days.
And do you feel that you could have made any changes to the way that the community was informed? Because I noticed in the first meeting, the town meeting, that you indicated there, I guess, a calling list where you call residents to let them know what's going on. I've lived in my house since 2015. I've had my phone number for 20 years. I didn't receive any phone calls.
Well, first of all, make sure that your phone number is on that so we can...
It absolutely is. It's not changed for 20 years.
Well, if it's on there and it's right, you should be getting a call.
Well,
but anyhow, go ahead. Finish
so,
your second.
Moving into the future, are you going to make any changes onto how people are notified, or not wait on the state to make that decision for you?
We notify through our town page, phone calls.
Actually, Danny, you post most things on your personal Facebook page. Very rarely does it get to the town page.
Ma'am, it's on the town page too.
Well, for the residents who rely on this water supply every day, can you explain what ongoing testing is going to be conducted, what remediation steps are underway, and how you're ensuring transparency so that the public can have confidence in the safety of their water now and in the future? Whether you want to answer this, Danny, or whether DEP wants to answer this.
I'll answer part of that question. Remediation can be brought to DEP or the state there. I plan on doing continual testing.
In what way? What kind of, I mean, we don't have water engineers working for the town.
No, we take the samples and have them tested. Yeah.
By who?
ALS or PACE.
Okay. For AEP, I feel like you guys have kind of been left out of this conversation other than the gentleman before me. But the fact of the matter is the primary problem is with your policies and procedures in regards to securing your facilities. So what factors led to the decision to leave the facilities in an abandoned state without removing oil from the transformers or properly securing the area, and who's responsible for ensuring those safeguards were in place?
Oh, so sorry.
Thank you. Again, George Porter, American Electric Power. So that was our substation. We purchased that in 2019. There were transformers on that site. The plan was to take that substation and utilize it for future development and bring new service in. Pandemic happened, other things happened, kind of got pushed to the side. We were working toward the process of removing those transformers before the vandalism happened. So but what we've learned from this, and you're exactly right, is we need to do a better job of our lessons learned and our balances and make sure that we're doing a better job of securing our facilities. It's not an excuse. We have thousands of facilities like this throughout the state. We normally don't report vandalism because we don't want people to know that there's copper at our facilities because we don't want it to become more rampant. But we are looking at that right now. We're doing that in parallel with the remediation efforts right now to figure out what we can do to be better to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Now, my last question is also for AEP. What specific steps will AEP, American Electric Power, or Appalachian Power, DBA, steps will you taking to assist residents with remediation efforts related to their homes, including assessment, cleanup, and any necessary repairs resulting from the contamination?
You're talking about homes specifically, correct? Right now, we haven't made any decisions. Our goal right now is to work on remediation to get the creek cleaned up. We're working in parallel with DEP to make sure that's done. Once we get that squared away, we feel like it should be another couple of weeks, depending on the weather. But after that, we're going to continue to work with our local officials. We've been working closely with the senators, the commissioners, as well as Mayor Danny Grace to figure out what the community actually needs, and we're going to try to continue to support. We just don't have those definitive actions in place today.
Dustin Copley.
Dustin Copley. My question is for AEP. 11326 is when you were notified? Yes? Okay. And have you contacted OSHA in regards, or MSHA about it? Mine, Safety, Health, Administration. You own a piece of mining equipment. Have you contacted them? Have you contacted OSHA or MSHA? If you contacted OSHA, here's some information for you. Failure to contact them immediately, and this goes for any department working, they will launch an intensive investigation following a criminal investigation, and you will be fined $70,000. And in regards to how did you and how did the board, how did you figure out how much oil or how much fluid leaked into? How did you calculate that it was around 5,000?
That's the size of the tank, the size of the transformer.
That's the size?
It's a $5,000.
A personal person that I know.
You haven't solidified calculation. It's a 5,000 gallon tank.
There's a 5,000 gallon tank
For the transformer, yes.
for the transformer. And in the pictures of the transformer, there were coil packs on the side of it, correct? There were 5 coil packs on the side. There were 6 posts up top. For that size of the transformer, it was around 12 to 15,000. Because my cousin, just 1 second, and I will give it back. My cousin interviewed for Rock Springs when it was Rock Springs. He saw the very transformer, and he was informed by the actual company themselves that that transformer itself held that much. Thank you.
Now, I want to make sure, because we've had a couple of transformer spills here recently. The one here in Wayne County was a transformer that held 5,000 gallons. Now, the one that was in Wyoming County, that did hold about 15,000 gallons. So I want to make sure we're talking about the right picture, because if you saw a picture online where oil was shooting out from the side, that's the one from Wyoming County, and that is the one that holds 15,000.
Next, please.
Hello, my name is Justin Richardson. I'm the reporter for the Wayne County News and HD Media. My first question was going to be for Mr. Porter and for the DEP. What is the cause of the Wyoming County spill? Is that a vandalism as well, or is that a like some kind of malfunction?
Are you guys okay me speaking about Wyoming? I know this is for Wayne, but okay. No, Wyoming County was a transformer failure. There was no vandalism there. We just had a transformer that leaked. The oil leaked out into the containment, but it's supposed to carry it below that initial transformer, which it did. Now, as it moved from that first containment to the secondary containment, that's where that oil leaked out. So we're now going through the process of investigating to figure out exactly what happened. That transformer at Wyoming County, I believe, don't quote me on this, is I think maybe 2021, so it's a fairly new transformer, so we're just trying to figure out exactly what happened. But that was equipment failure. There was no vandalism there.
Next.
Oh, can I?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And then also, Mr. Porter, have you all received the letter that was sent by the Wayne County Commission and 5 state legislators asking for AEP to pay for Wayne water utilities for the customers? And if so, when do you anticipate responding to that? And do you know the decision that will be made in that regard?
I am not aware of that, but I do know that that's been conversations throughout our company right now. You know, what can we do to support the community? You know, what can we understand it's been an inconvenient time, and it's to no fault of anyone's here. So we're just trying to figure out ways to support the community. We don't know what that looks like. That's why we're continuing to try to work with the local officials, the commissioners, the senators, to figure out what is the best option for that.
Justin, I can add to that. We are in talks with AEP about getting those bills paid for, yes. Next question.
Real quick, folks, we got a couple people that are trying to leave. If you drive a white Dodge Ram, West Virginia license plate 1VT879, and a blue Chevy Silverado, West Virginia D2M512. Could you please move your vehicles?
Brenda Gerald.
I suppose that'd be
Who's
fine.
Brenda Gerald?
That'd be fine. That would be fine. Go ahead.
Okay, she wants to know how the cleanup process is going. I mean, how are you all doing it up there?
Charcoal.
Are they charcoal filters on the water system, or that's what she's wanting to know?
Are you talking about the cleanup at the?
She wants to know how the cleanup is being done up there at the mines, and she wants to know, does the water plant have any charcoal filters or anything like that?
I can't ask for the cleanup up there. That'll be up to DEP and AEP. But yes, we do use charcoal, carbon filter system. Yes.
Okay, was
Yes,
y'all using
we
it?
always have.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
So as far as the remediation, there will still be further excavation on the site where the transformer was removed. And then they will continue to collect anything that's collectible in the stream. There still is collectible material in the upper reaches right now, as people have mentioned, as we're observing. They are continuing to collect that now. And they'll continue until it's done.
Okay. Why are they trying to force us to use the water whenever, I mean, my water's blue, some people's water's black. I mean, after they run out of water, bottled water down here, it's gonna be left up to us to buy it then. So, it's like we're being forced to use the water.
All the tests that we have back has met regulatory restrictions. We've had the water tested, and as far as the DEP and health department, it's a clean bill of health with our water.
But it's not coming out into our systems as clean.
Yes, ma'am, it's been tested coming out of the plant and into the system itself.
I mean, like, our water lines are contaminated. Some of them, like mine's contaminated. Because I had diesel fuel and oil both, and now I've got oil and blue water, but y'all say it's soap scum. But
Like I said, I never said that, but we will come up. I told you we'd come up and get a sample from you and have it tested.
Stephanie Dotson.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Dotson. All right, number one, my first question is, you guys realized it was going on January the 13th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I've been told by numerous residents it took 3 days for anybody to get notified about this. I got notified on January the 22nd from one of my best buddies out of Ohio that tagged me in Facebook. All this, excuse my French, I'm going to be real mild about it, BS, about the water contamination. I raise coonhounds. I have 19 at home. I want to know why it took you guys so long to get off your butts to let your residents know about this. The water company did not notify us. We didn't. Here says my stepdad. He's in his 70s. My mom's in her 70s. We've been consuming the water for 9 damn days, excuse my French. So now I want to know, is there a health provider up here? What do I need to go and ask my doctor to get tested for? My stepdad was just coming off of radiation treatments for cancer again. Now, I'm sorry, this is total BS. It's total, I mean, everybody needs to stand behind one another. It's just, what excuse do you have for this? If you don't love this community, if you don't think that much for your citizens, what? I mean, furthermore, all my hounds, I've got 19 at the house. They're all breeding stock. I've canceled 2 breedings Because I'm concerned about what's that going to throw in my bloodlines. I don't need that for my kennel name. Forget, I seen just, what was it today, Pap? I told you. You guys are fixing to stock the stream for trout? Well, isn't that going to be good? Let our kids go out there and catch fish and eat them. What's that going to put into our kids' systems? I mean, why did it take that long? Here's another thing I want to say. Why is it so difficult? Like Amber Alerts. Everybody knows what Amber Alerts are. When it comes to your community and your health, just like your kids, why couldn't we have gotten an alert on our daggone phones to tell us what the heck was going on?
Ma'am, like I've stated, those phone calls started going out at 7:20 on the 16th. Now, why you didn't get one till the 22nd, I have no idea. Those calls, those.
I got tagged from my best friend out of Ohio to let me know what the hell was going on here.
I don't know why your friend tagged you, but those phone calls went out at 7:20. Ma'am, do you care if I finish answering your question?
Y'all struck the ball big time.
Next question, please.
You're an ass.
Hi, I'm Benny Maynard, citizen here in Wayne. Thank you. Given that this spill was caused by vandalism at Appalachian Power,
Ma'am, that's enough. Let him speak, please.
okay, given that this spill was caused by vandalism at Appalachian Power, owned by critical infrastructure that was located on property permitted to Lexington Coal and resulted in contamination of our water system, and that residents may have unknowingly consumed this water before the issue was identified, which with long-term effects still uncertain, what specific security and accountability and remediation measures are taking place with Appalachian Power. Basically, my main question is how is Appalachian Power and Lexington Coal going to be held accountable for this? They should have had security gates. There should have been a lot more going on. And I know that you touched on this earlier. However, realistically, it's unacceptable because this community and everybody here consume that. And we don't know the long-term effects. Yes, we're under the impression by Big Pharma, AEP, these very large companies, hey, yes, it's safe, don't worry about it. Which realistically, we don't know. We really don't. I understand. I'm going to take your word for it. That's what we're told to be doing. But we can't all just drink the Kool-Aid. Sometimes there's poison in it. And then also, my second question is, have we considered privatization of our water? I know that a lot of other towns, Marmette, there's a lot up towards like in between here and Charleston. A lot of these smaller towns are selling to American Water and things like that just because they have a lot more resources than what we have here. Is that being considered?
No, I haven't considered selling to American Water, no. Probably they would have had the same problem we did with this spill.
John Jervis.
Yeah, you touched on it before. This is something that we're looking at. Like I said, we have thousands of facilities throughout West Virginia and Virginia, and it's difficult to man. We try to put up security fences. We try to make sure we do routine inspections. But with so many facilities, it's just really hard. Vandalism is something that we're constantly dealing with, but it's something that we're learning from. Hate that it had to happen in this situation for us to learn, to be better in what we're doing. But we are trying to figure out ways to make sure that this doesn't happen moving forward.
I'll touch on that as well. And this was a vandalism-related event, but that doesn't absolve AEP of responsibility. DEP issued enforcement actions against AEP and Lexington Coal. Remediation is ongoing. Once remediation is complete, we will assess whether or not additional enforcement actions are warranted at that time. We have had discussions already with AEP that there will be a cost recovery of state resources expended for the sampling and for personnel costs associated with this spill. So that at least will occur.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but he did just say that AEP is going to be held accountable for you guys and for us as a town. I think that right there is awesome. Thank you for that. I think that's what a lot of people are here for. But are you willing to say that it's unacceptable that there wasn't more measures in place for AEP for that vandalization to take place?
I would. Unfortunately, right now we have a pending litigation that's been proposed against the company, so unfortunately I can't comment on that part of it.
Thank you.
Next question.
Hello, I'm John Jervis, and my question is for Danny and the Water Board. I won't beat a dead horse. Everybody else has already voiced a lot of the same concerns. My question is, have you all approached USDA about the grants for the water to either put better finishing filtration on the system or a protected inlet for the intake?
We're continually working with to do new improvements, our carbon filtering and things like that. We have one of the best plants in the state. We produce some of the best water in the state, but we continue to work for grants and improvements, yes.
There has been a form posted online.
I've seen that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you all have approached them about that, right?
I haven't yet, but yes, I'm going to. Yes.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Sir, I think that woman had an unanswered question. She brought it to my attention that we'll know the dog animals.
I don't know about dogs.
No, she asked if there's tests that we as individuals can take to see if we're contaminated. I didn't hear that.
Is there some kind of testing medically they need to get? And is there a list of tests for people to be available if they are getting symptoms? They want to know, is there certain tests to take in order to find out?
Dr. McDaniel or whoever can answer that probably.
They need the microphone.
Hi, so I'm with the Poison Center for the state. There's not a specific test that you're going to be able to get for anything like this. The only thing is symptom watching, but we haven't seen anything at the Poison Center that we've gotten calls on that are symptoms related to mineral oil. I heard everyone say that there's someone in the ICU. We haven't got called on that, so I can't speak to that person. But there's not a specific test you can go to your physician and order or anything like that. That's perfect. We would love to know about the case because that helps us understand more about what's going on. So that's perfect. We would love that.
Nick?
My name's Danny Roberts, and I've worked in the water business probably 30-some years, which I've said that at the last meeting. Danny, I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you. I love you, and I pray for you, okay? I've been where you're at, not as a mayor, but dealing with water issues over the years. But there is some questions that I have that I would like to have answered tonight. You said that the sheen was on the water on Tuesday, right?
The DEP seen it.
DEP notified you on Tuesday.
No, I notified them.
You notified them. Okay. Do you have a source water protection plan at your water plant? Okay. Then why? And let's not get out of hand here. We got to act as human beings, and especially if we're Christians, we got to be Christian-like. But I do want to ask you, if you have a clean water source protection plan, why did you not follow it? Because I'll fill you in, okay, in case You don't know, and you probably do, that's all right. Under the Clean Water Source Protection Plan, once you was notified there was a sheen on the water. We get sheens all the time. But when the sheen was on the water, under the Source Water Protection Plan that you say you have in play, we got ours in a rack on a manual at our water plant. You are supposed to calculate, you said that it was at Peter Cave. You're supposed to do a calculation of how much that moves every 5 hours. And once you calculate that, you should have shut your water plant down, which you didn't. You didn't, okay? Because I was there when DEP asked you to open it up. You said, I've never shut it down. I was there. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I'm just trying to get some facts here. So, if you have it, which is by law you gotta have it, why did you not follow protocol and say, I better stay up all night, I better monitor this, okay? And once it gets close to the water plant, you're to shut the water plant down, and then you're not supposed to open it up till it's a quarter mile downstream, which was not followed. It don't matter whether it was dangerous. You didn't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm not
No,
done.
I'm going to answer that question.
No,
because
you won't let me finish.
Because you're putting words into my mouth.
No, I'm reading it right off the state website.
I know you are, and I'm going to, you said...
I get 2 minutes to talk, then you can take over, okay? Don't overtalk me. Not being mean to you, but don't overtalk me. I'm stating facts. You should have monitored it. Am I upset? Yeah, I've got oil through my house. I don't care how much you all stand there and say, oh, we've got it clean, there's no danger in it. You would not want me to come to your house, dig your lines up, and pump it into your house to where your children and your family has to deal with it. Okay? So, under this, you should have shut the plant down. No ifs, and buts about it. Now I'm going to read you a couple other things. Don't shake your head. Here's right off the West Virginia website. Yes, as a certified water plant operator in West Virginia, has not only the authority, but the responsibility, which is highlighted if you're from the health department, to shut down or modify plant operations to prevent unsafe water from entering the public distribution system if raw water is contaminated. I'll give you one more. Operator shuts down a system due to contamination. They are required to notify the public, West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection, or the Bureau of Public Health to inform them of the emergency and the actions being taken. So, if you know it was at Peter Cave, I'm not trying to beat you up, pray for you, love you. I'm upset because I have this stuff in my house, and no matter how much you all tell us it's safe, I don't feel safe. No matter how much you tell us, hey, we've tested it. I do test on water all the time. The point is, you don't go to the water plant and see a transformer there pumping it into the water plant, because it's a foreign object that shouldn't be there. So, if you would have shut the plant down, I'm not beating you up.
Can I answer your question?
No, I'm not done. When I get my 2 minutes, you can answer me. Okay? Okay. 2 minutes is up, I guess, but I've got his 2 minutes, okay? So now I've got 4 minutes, okay? So anyway.
Well, before you go any further, Danny, let me answer your first.
Chief operator should have shut the plant down.
Answer.
It's his responsibility and duty.
Let me answer your first part of the question, okay? When I called DEP, or emergency management, the sheen was at Peter Cave. We immediately, not waited, we did not calculate, we immediately monitored the creek 24 hours a day.
Then why didn't you shut down the plant?
The sheen was not there. We shut down the sheen at 2 o'clock on Friday when we seen the sheen.
Okay. Well,
let me finish.
Okay.
For 5 hours. So we did watch the sheen, like you said, calculate how far it gets down. We monitored 24 hours a day. Every 15 minutes we went to the creek.
Then why didn't you shut the plant down?
There was no sheen at that time.
If it's at Peter Cave, it's coming down.
Let me finish the answer.
Okay.
Let me finish the answer. I shut the plant down at 2 o'clock on Friday when we seen a sheen. And we kept it shut down for 5 hours till after it passed.
Hold on. Me and you was in the garage. I was asked to come and talk to you and help you. Okay?
By who?
I'm not telling you who.
Well, okay.
But I was asked. And DEP called and asked you if they opened the plant, if you opened the intakes back up, and you said, I've never shut them down. We've been running. That come out of your mouth. Okay? I ain't got no reason to lie. And I ain't gonna lie. I don't hate you, but I'm just trying to figure out why.
And I'm not lying either.
Okay, then why did you not? We wouldn't even be here tonight had you shut the plant down, had you let it go downstream, fired the plant up. We all would not be here tonight. That's the only thing I'm saying. I've got oil in my hot water tank.
I repeat it again. When we seen the sheen, I shut the plant down.
You said you didn't. You told DEP you didn't. Okay?
When we shut down at 2 o'clock is when we seen the sheen and waited for 5 hours for it to pass.
How far do you think Peter Cave is from the intake of the water plant?
I probably guess 9 miles.
9 miles. Okay.
Just a guess.
According to the clean water source plan that you are supposed to follow in this situation, you calculate that river every 5 hours. Monitor how far that sheen's moved down, which lets you know when it's close to your intake. And I'm not going to get into the small words here, but somewhere around a half a mile to a mile before it got there, you should have shut the plant down. Look, I'm just saying, we have oil through our house, and I'm not being mean to you guys. Love you and pray for you, and I mean that. I don't care how much you all sit there and tell us we're safe, where there was no transparency with us, people don't feel safe. And I'm speaking, my wife asked me this, and I'll just tell you this. I wasn't even going to speak at this meeting. I wasn't going to speak at the other meeting. My wife said, Danny, do you love the people in Wayne? I said, I love every one of them. She said, then stand up. And stand up for what's right. Don't be mean. Just stand up because of the knowledge of the water. I said, I hate when you're right, but you're right. Okay? So, I'm just saying, now that we're here. We can't get around this. My number one question to you all is this, okay? Are you all going to pay? Because I'm putting a new hot water tank in. I'm replumbing my house. Okay? But is AEP willing, and you, Danny, you all have insurance just like we do. Are you all willing to agree tonight to get all of our houses replumbed, a new hot water tank, new ice? My ice maker's trashed because I'll never feel safe letting my grandbabies get ice out of it. So I'm asking you all, are you all going to pick up the tab on all of this? You can say yay or nay, and if you say nothing, that's like saying no.
I can't say who's going to be responsible, us, AEP, or who. Who was responsible when you had your incident in Canova?
Well, I'll tell you who was responsible. Give me the mic. I wasn't going to bring that up, but being you did. Tugboat sunk above our water plant.
Okay, this has nothing to do with our water.
Okay, but you asked the question.
Next question.
No, you asked the
Next
question. You asked, so what?
I didn't ask if a tugboat.
Yes, you did. You said who was responsible.
Who was responsible for the hot water tank, Danny? Not the tugboat.
We didn't need that because we shut our water plant down,
Okay,
Danny.
next question, please.
We shut our water plant down. We didn't need that.
Next question, please.
Okay. You know what? That's all right.
Hey, Danny, I want to ask you one question. What time who called you and told you about the oil spill?
There again, I've said this a number of times. I was the one that made the call. No one called me. Larry?
I don't care.
Well, I do. Let me speak.
You're speaking lies. You're speaking lies, man. It's not transparent. What you're doing. You dropped the ball because you did not tell people when you found out. Whether it was been an issue or not, whether you felt in your heart this is going to be a big deal, you still should have alerted the people. And you didn't. That's where everyone I think is upset about part of that, because we all drank that water for those days that you knew about what was going on, Danny. And I don't know why you didn't tell people.
Are you done, Larry?
I
Let
am.
him finish his question.
If you would just apologize for that, I'll never call you Danny Disgrace again.
I don't care what you call me, Larry.
What time did you get a call? And who called?
There again, I did not get a call. I called them. I called emergency management, and BJ called DEP.
So you didn't know about it first.
Larry, please, I'm done listening to you speaking out of turn.
Charlie, do you mean who called him to tell him that there was oil in the water? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay.
I'm the one that notified them, Charlie.
How'd you know? Who called you and told you that the oil spill and you should notify the town?
Oh, Bugs did.
Who?
Bugs.
Bugs.
Freddie Ailiff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know where all the transformers are at? The ones that's vandalized and tore up?
On the mining property? Oh yeah, I'm not familiar with all the transformers up there. I just know the ones inside of Lisa Lynn. Well, I wrote a note. I had no idea that there was some more issues going on with additional transformers, so I wrote a note to take it back.
I'm Nikki Taylor with Division of Mining, and there was a second incident where we had less than 10 gallons of mineral oil spilled. That did not reach any waterways. It has been removed, and those transformers have been taken away off-site and disposed of properly. The transformers that are not in use on the mining permit have been taken off-site. If they're on a pole and are being used, they're still on the pole. The ones that were over at the substation have been removed from the substation area and taken to an adjacent part of the permit. They're in secondary containment and they're waiting to be removed.
Next week.
Next question, Brooke.
Hi friends, I'll come closer to you. I'm more of a rapid fire type gal and I can get kind of windy sometimes. Okay, so we just mentioned the second incident with a second transformer with 10 gallons. Is that on the same property? Okay, so if there are two transformers at one spot that could potentially be leaking, we're saying one is vandalism. Let's assume, for conversation's sake, it was vandalism. This one that you're not talking about, we're not calling it vandalism, correct? It's a malfunction with the transformer. Okay, so up in the air now, so we don't have it. What type of mandated upkeep do you have for these transformers? I know you had talked about earlier, 2019, we were supposed to have something to be doing with this. We're way down the road. So whatever advancements that we had are obviously being way pushed aside, as you had mentioned before. In those 7 years, what type of routine maintenance are happening to these transformers? And who is responsible? If it's not AEP, is it the mining company? Is it somebody else?
So at this location at Eastland Substation, there are 3 transformers there. We're currently investigating it, but we believe that the 2 of those transformers are older transformers, do belong to the coal company, and 1 transformer does belong to us, but we're still going through paperwork to verify that. As far as inspections, like I said, this location was de-energized, so it wasn't a maintenance that needed to be done, but we were doing routine inspections to make sure that there was no vandalism or anything could happen. The last time we were there was the week right after Christmas, before the New Year, so about 2 weeks before the vandalism happened.
How often do these inspections happen? What's the duration?
We tried it, we say routine, but we try to get by at least once every 2 months. Again, that's looking at hundreds and thousands of substations throughout our territory, so but we do our very best to try to get by those as often as we can.
With the ones that were not being used, I'm sorry, I may be ignorant.
Sorry, I told you I'm rapid fire, y'all. So with these transformers that are sitting vacant for 7 years of plans that are happening, are we just leaving the oil in every single one of these transformers? Are they being drained? Is it super expensive to drain and refill? And what does that cost to you all compared to the cost of what you just shelled out for, besides the one that the community have provided? Laundry, bottled water, all of the things.
So I don't know the financial aspects of it or the last part of that, but there was the plan to keep the transformer oil in there because it is more cost prohibitive to keep those in there and not empty them out and then refill them.
So now that we know that there are 2 transformers in one location that may be affected, we also know the one in Wyoming County may be affected. We also saw, well, I saw an article from several years ago, can't cite it, from 2022, of another alleged vandalism of the transformer. Do you think it would be worth revisiting if we're going to leave transformers uninhibited for 7 years to do that, just to also save you guys the cost? I know it's not every single transformer, you guys have thousands, but in the sensitive climate that we are in, we're taking these transformers out, like you said, and are we digging the soil out around from those transformers while those are being taken out? If so, I respect that, thank you, but are we doing that to the riverbanks and the ponds and everything else that is happening, digging that soil and bringing in clean soil with that?
So as I mentioned earlier, there's an enforcement action in place that places requirements on AEP. We discussed on Friday further details that we need from them on exactly what you're describing. Remediation of the riverbank, remediation of the site itself, removal of the soil and any contaminants that are there. Yes.
Bob Carroll.
I want to know who is responsible for having guards up there guarding that place. Who's responsible? AEP for the guard, the mines? Who's responsible for watching in case vandalism does that? Yeah, who's in charge of the security at the places to keep the vandalism from happening? They want no security up there when that happens. Now, I just want to know where the security was up to the mine. I know they shut down everything, but you still had valuable equipment in there. There was no guard at them.
Yeah, we don't have guards at all of our substations. Again, we have thousands of infrastructure throughout the territory, so we try to put those fences up with the barbed wire to try to deter people from getting in. Unfortunately, vandalism does happen. It happens all the time, so we're trying to continue to figure out ways to be better at it.
Now, how often y'all go up and check on the transformer?
We try to inspect each location every 2 months, give or take. Sometimes it can be more often, depending on if something happens there, or we get any type of notification that we need to go by. But routinely, we try to hit every location within the 2-month time frame.
I was just going to answer your question about security. Lexington Coal had security on site, and the second incident was there was security there at that time too.
Why didn't they have cameras up there?
Well, no, I can't speak to why they don't have cameras, sir, but there was security provided by Lexington Coal.
Why didn't they get
There's an ongoing investigation.
Thank you. Another thing, Danny, I'm going to ask you this. When a child goes missing, there's an Amber Alert on TV. Comes over my radio on my truck. There's an Amber Alert. And it took 3 days to get an Amber Alert to people. Like I say, I ain't trying to make nobody mad or anything like that. But like I said, a kid can go missing. That's blasting everywhere. It's blasting. A kid's missing. Now, why couldn't it be an Amber Alert? There's 4 of them coming down the creek.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, the information that I was given at that time, there was no imminent danger or Larry, please let me finish. There you go speaking again. I had no reason to believe that anything was going to happen with that oil sheen. And I acted as quickly as I could. Or as I thought. Thank you. Next.
Samantha Noble.
My first question is for the doctor. You said that being aspirate is what causes the problem. My son has acid reflux as well as ulcerative colitis and as well as an autoimmune disease and has many issues since all this has started, which I have talked to his GI doctor about, and he is working on and thinks it's the water. He's tried different medications since then, not working. He also has asthma, and this water was used to cook and clean in the water fountains for 3 days at this school alone before anybody was notified. And I'm sure that there's lots of people in this community with acid reflux, as well as myself, that stands a chance of aspiration every night when they lay their head down. So if he drinks the water and vomits and aspirates, what kind of issues am I looking at your point of view?
When you look at the SDS, it's for high quantities of ingestion. The amount that's in this water is not something you have to worry about aspirating.
Is that the amount that's in this water now, or the amount that's in this water 3 days before we call it?
I can only go from what's tested from the data we have.
Okay, my 84-year-old dad, he washed off in this water a day before the do not consume came in on January 16th. He instantly got red, a rash, and large welts everywhere. And that he itched intensely, and he's allergic to Benadryl, so he couldn't even take anything. Can that be explained? Never had this issue before. He's 84 years old, lived in Wayne County, I know of at least 50 years. Because I'm 50.
So, is this one? Can you hear me? So from the, like I said, it's a mineral oil, and there's no dermatological effects from the mineral oil. This time of year, every discussions we have are with your local health officer as well as poison control, and the data sheets and everything on this is not something that causes dermatological issues.
So that was just coincidental? Using the same exact soap, same exact laundry, same exact everything that he used, other than the issue with the water. Oh, I got pictures with that. I can show you the red spot, pretty much everybody wanted to see on it.
You can speculate a lot of things as far as, you know.
My next question is for Danny. I've called multiple times about a problem with the bill or anything, whether it is high than proposed, which I have had a double or triple, and was told I had to come to a meeting in front of the town council because you said you weren't over the water. They were. Tony Agins was town recorder at the time that I went and had that meeting. He probably recalls the meeting that I had. So what's the difference between then and them being over the water then and now?
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to anything. Any question that's ever been asked you about the water at any point in time.
Water bills?
Water, anything.
Well, Be specific so
Water
I can
bills,
answer.
whether-
Water,
it wouldn't
water,
matter.
water bills would be up if you disputed one, would be up to the water board, yes.
Okay, you all are talking about the diesel smell, that's normal, correct? It's normal to have this smell in your water?
I never said it was normal.
Okay, well, my water not only smells like diesel, it also smells like a wet dog when it's hot. That smell goes away when the water gets cold, but as long as that water's hot, it stinks so bad you wouldn't want to stand under it.
We'll come up and take a sample and have it tested.
And I have flushed my water. I flushed it 3 times, exactly the way you said. My next question is for AEP. My father-in-law worked up there at the mines, up until he went bankrupt. My dad also worked up there, not only at Rock Springs, all the way back to Monterey Coal. He worked there for 27 years. So why is this all this stuff being left up there unattended? And if this was all vandalism, why did the vandals take time to take the plug out, let the oil drain out, take the time to replace the plug, all in time of taking a chance of getting caught?
So when we arrived, the valve was open on the tank, so the vandals didn't replace the valve, they opened it. From what I understand, the goal is to let the oil drain and then come back and dismantle the transformer for the material and the copper inside of it. As we mentioned before, it's a 5,000-gallon tank, so it's going to take a while for it.
Why was the pictures of that drain? If it was vandalized, that should be the first picture that should have been showed to the community.
Well, first and foremost, it's an open investigation, so we can't just share that information. We're working with law enforcement. So, but we do have pictures up on our website now that shows the fence as well as the vandalism on the transformers. You guys are welcome to view those if you like. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
If it was vandalism, then why?
Oh, it wasn't replaced.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening. Where's DEP? Is Terry Fletcher in the room? No? Okay. So I don't really have a dog in this hunt. I've been traveling West Virginia for about 8 months, creating content, and my original goal was very simple: showcase the beauty of the state, kind of give it a voice that has never been given. Show the good, the beauty. I think West Virginia has been stereotyped for so long, and I think when I got here, I was amazed by how much the culture did not match those stereotypes. About 6 months in, I started kind of stumbling into this niche of giving a voice to people that have maybe felt like they don't have a voice, whether you want to say they have or why not. A lot of these people in West Virginia do not feel like they have a voice. So I started stumbling into council meetings like this, dealing with water issues, like the Wyoming County water issue. I hope I didn't create too much problem for you, sir. My big problem is this. Do all you live in West Virginia up here? So I don't think any of you are part of this grand conspiracy to poison the water, okay? That's my opinion. You guys can disagree with that all you want, but that's my opinion. The big problem that I'm having is this. I feel like all the press releases that everyone gets, I've been getting a little heat lately. Why don't you go to DEP? Why don't you go to AEP for your answers? And I just feel like that's like witnessing a police issue and going to the police about the issue. I think there needs to be some outside sources that are kind of verifying things, checking and balancing these parties. And I see the DEP's constant statements about these issues, and they seem to constantly be aligning with the powers that be in terms of where the money is, the corporations and things like that. And that's my biggest problem. Why aren't there ever DEP pushbacks against these corporations? Why isn't the DEP ever coming out calling for more testing? Why doesn't there ever seem to be why is it always, oh, this terrible act of vandalism? It just seems like this cookie cutter answer all across the board from all the powers that be, which is leading to a lot of distrust amongst the citizens. And then somebody had mentioned something about the the situation where the gentleman was escorted out. I'm going to tell you right now, I probably will include that clip in some capacity because it will generate interest to this video. But what I don't want this to become is Wild and Wonderful Whites 2.0. I love the Wild and Wonderful Whites. I've met some of them. They're nice people, but they do not represent all of West Virginia. And I want to be very careful coming into these council meetings that are very intimate settings. Let's be real, it's public settings, but people are very, very outraged. And I don't want, because of the national attention I have on my videos, I don't want this to become like very spiraling out of control very quickly. I want to be careful and make sure I represent the situation correctly. So, DEP, can you get me in touch with Terry Fletcher? I kind of made a statement. On Saturday, I said, listen, I will start getting everybody's opinions as to what's going on. I need the DEP's information. I need the EEP's information. As I continue to investigate some of these things, I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the proper answers. But just don't take me not coming to you guys as like, oh, I just want clicks and views. It's more so, I feel like for the first time, like a lot of West Virginians are getting a voice. They have been like screaming from their the rooftops, but have never had an outlet to it. So that's what I feel like I am. I'm going to give the West Virginians first, but I have absolutely no problem giving getting statements from some of you that are associated with these things moving forward. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yep.
So we're certainly happy that you would reach out and converse with us. We can put you in touch with Terry, certainly. You spoke about not seeing as much from, let me step back and say, again, I'm Brad Wright, West Virginia DEP. I work in environmental enforcement. So enforcement is what I do. Not all of our enforcement actions get a press release. They are public notice. The public will always have a chance to comment on any final action that we take. I mentioned earlier that at some point after remediation is complete, we will be doing a cost recovery. That will be through some form of action that the public can comment on. So while you might not see a press release for each of those, there is work of that nature happening constantly, and the public is given an opportunity to comment on that work. So I'd encourage you to look for that as well, and we will get you in touch with Terry.
Michael Atkins. Come on up because we have one good working microphone. They're running my guts out. I need it.
So, just to be fully transparent, I'm an owner and CEO of a major company. So, I've sat in multiple board meetings. I've sat in these rooms on these, sweep under the rug, cleanups, whatever it is, and I'm not saying that's what this is. But my main concern is how it was handled. You're asking the public to trust you, but you never gave them a reason to trust you. I brought in showers. I brought in laundromats. I brought in that stuff out of my own pocket. Not that I'm being reimbursed for it. Not that I'm getting the write-off on taxes. Maybe I do. But the fact is you can't ask for trust and not give a reason to be trusted. So, where was everybody at? Whose responsibility was that? AEP? Was it Lexington Coal Company? Was it DEP? Was it Town Hall? Because I can tell you, state authorities and government authorities have a lot deeper pockets than I have. And, I know because the authorities who was involved in this, I send bills to occasionally, more so than occasionally. I bill AEP, I work for AEP, I do a lot of work for AEP. I know all their plans, all their, their mediations, all that stuff that they have for these, these spills and stuff. So that, that's my thing. I want to know, why wasn't there a reason for the public to trust? The next question would be, as far as, now that we're here, it's a lesson learned, obviously. Give these people a reason to trust you. You gave them a reason not to as of now, because you haven't provided anything to show, even in the beginning when there was doubts of whether the water was contaminated or not, before any tests came back, nothing was brought in for them. Water, bottles of water. AEP did bring in showers late, like I said, but I brought those in personally, me and my family. I did not do it for, because I'm running for election. That job does no good to me. Being in county commission has no bear on anything of my business other than being a public servant. That's it. $40,000 a year salary means nothing to a man that can bring in millions a year. I don't need to spend $300,000 to win a $40,000 salary. What I'm doing is I'm trying to give a voice back to the community and people that I'm on the same playing field with, that I sit in these rooms with, that I talk to, because I deal with EPA. on a daily basis. I do day work. I'm sure you know, being from AEP, we're scrutinized by them every single day. On any job, whether it's cattails, swamps, whatever it is, I have to deal with them. So I know exactly what it feels like. But what I'm saying is, you know, for me, there's no gain to me for it. I just want to know, why have you not gave these people a reason to trust you other than saying, here you go, you know, if the tests are good, it's fine. You know, you're with AEP. I've hung transformers that are PCB in 2000. I've been a lineman for a long time that had PCB in them. 2010, I was told by a utility that I work for, if you see a PCB, start taking it down, we're changing it. So 1979, you say there's a manufacture date. Why wasn't that posted to the public to give them ease to say, hey, you know what, here's the manufacture date. You know, give them proof. Don't just tell them that. I mean, I'm just saying to ease their minds, because ultimately, chaos is not good for nobody. It causes, you know, rampant fear. People don't want to drink water. Then they're worried about sending their kids to school. The next thing you know, you got a big uproar in the community, and they start bombarding everybody with questions. I'm not saying, you know, I felt like everybody was so worried about who to blame in the beginning, rather than saying, okay, we're going to address this. We're going to, you know, mitigate what we can of it. We're going to bring in resources. We're going to ease the pain of it. Then we're going to dig in and figure out what happened and all this and that. You know, versus, you know, we're, you know, 3 days in, whatever everybody's saying, you know, Danny was, you know, here we are 3 days in, and people's now finding out, just like I said, Amber Alerts are a thing. You know, that could have been notified. It could have been on the radio. You could have brought in a news media that day, because hundreds of people watched the news and said, hey, we need to get this out right now. We're not sure if it's contaminated. There was no test in 3 days showing that it wasn't contaminated. Nobody had no proof of nothing other than don't drink, don't use your water. I don't know what else to tell you, but don't use it. And nobody else stepped up to bring that in, to bring in help, to bring in that, you know, for the people. And that's, I just want to say that, you know, I feel like if you want their trust, you got to give them a reason to trust you.
Lisa Stevenson.
I'm just kind of going off of what he said. Did any of you guys know why every person is sitting in this building burning up for almost 2 hours? I'm not asking you guys. I'm asking you guys. Yes or no?
Obviously, you guys are here because you want answers to your questions about the water situation.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I don't want to speak for them, but I believe
Yeah.
they all.
I mean, you don't have
the
to
same reason.
just shake your head yes or no. It's because every person in this building and in this community are scared to death. I've got kids. I've got 7 grandbabies that for 3 days, my grandbabies took baths in that water and drank in that water. That's hard. And then on Thursday of this past week, we were told, don't drink the water, don't let it touch. If you can wash your clothes and you can bathe in it. The very next day, we were told, it's okay. Do whatever, you know, go back to the way it was. That same day, all the showers were gone. The one laundry facility was gone. I mean, it was still there, but it was not usable. We just found out Saturday, Jim, or Sunday, we came down because we thought that AEP still had their shower. Jim came down to get water at Save-A-Lot, and somebody told him that shower was still workable. One shower house, or whatever you want to call it, for this whole community. We don't trust you guys. We don't trust drinking the water, and you guys just like didn't even give us the weekend to say, hey, let's get a shower in on Sunday, because we don't know when the next time we're going to get one. Do you guys know what that feels like? We're not a rich community. We're a poor community. We don't have thousands of dollars to replace all the water lines and the hot water tanks and the refrigerators. And we don't have that. And, you know, we don't know when it's coming either. But all the showers are gone. The water's going to be gone. The laundry facilities are gone. The one that we got, we didn't get anything in East Lynn except for the showers. And we were very thankful. I mean, I was very thankful they were clean. Whoever kept them up, they kept the ice off of them. We were very thankful. But within a matter of hours, they were gone. Like, don't give us time to think about it and make a plan of what we're going to do. It was gone. And we were told, we don't know how much longer the ones at Walmart are going to be there. I don't even know if they're still there. We have not. So we're being forced to use this water when we don't trust you guys. And you all did that. We didn't do this. You guys did. Every one of you guys did. And nothing's being done. I mean, like, you guys sit there. These people have asked so many questions. And we've heard nothing. You are the only one we've heard from, basically. You guys have sit there. You've answered a few questions, but we've not gotten any real answers. We're people just like you all. We've got kids that we have to think about. Our kids are in school. Do you know what their lunches were? You know what? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of moms in here that knows what their lunches were. Do you know they had one water facility working at Wayne Elementary one day? For that whole school. But for that whole school, they only had 2. And one of them broke down. That's our kids. I don't care what happens to me. They don't have a choice. And you guys aren't helping. We're real people.
So this has been top of mind for Appalachian Power. We have daily conversations talking about this since the outset, and where we're trying to figure out what's best for the community. Obviously, as I mentioned before, we have pending litigation, so there's only certain things that I can talk about because our legal team won't allow me to say more. But we are trying to put the community first. That's why we're trying to work at a high level, work with the senators, work with the delegates, work with the commissioners, and let them tell us what the community needs.
Are you guys going to bring showers back?
I didn't know we.
Bring laundry facilities
I didn't know we had taken any laundry facilities out.
Everywhere. And when that water is run out, when they pass it, there's going to be no more water. I'm not using the water in my house, and I know most of these people aren't either.
I would like to say one more thing with that being in mind on the trust situation. So, for example, like I told you, you get their trust, and then they can believe you. Well, you go back to this. So, for example, you got your big pharmaceutical companies, and I'm sure a lot of you all know it. You see it on the commercials. They'll say, yeah, this medicine's good. It's approved. Whatever. It's all fine and dandy. 5 years later, you get a message on your TV that says, if you experience this side effect, if you've lost this loved one, if this has happened, call this attorney to take care of this. So you have to understand where these people are coming from. I'm not even on that water. And like I told you, I just provided them because I feel for the community. But you have to take and put yourself in their shoes, as in they're already in fear of, from what happened from the start, the way it was handled, to now, if you're saying it's safe, and if you'd have handled it differently, I'm not saying everybody in this room would have probably agreed, but you'd have had a lot more majority on your side that agreed that, yeah, it's possibly safe. They took every action. We seen them. They brought in the showers. They brought in everything for us. From the beginning, we didn't have nothing to worry about because they had our backs. They were there. They did it. And I get it. I've fought with the government for years in my position, trying to help communities on ethics and things like that. And I get hands are tied. I understand your point too with AEP, litigation. I get it. I'm in it every day with my company. There's things I can and can't say. I do understand that. But you have to understand where they are coming from on a standpoint of why they don't trust now and why they're demanding more answers. Because, like I said, you get them commercials that come out and say, it's been 5 years, you took this medication. If your loved one died because of it, please contact us. We got lawsuits going. And I just want to be transparent and tell you why they feel what they're feeling right now. Not to put you all down, not to say, and I told everybody, I said, on a personal level, I think they're great people probably, but as far as the way they handled it, I feel like they let you down, and that's why you don't trust.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna move on to get everybody changed. Okay.
Krista. Sir Krista.
So my question is, because I'm a little confused, I know virtually nothing about water and chemicals and oil spills and all of that, but I do know people who do. I spoke to somebody who actually owns a water testing lab in Michigan, and he did say, for anyone who is curious, he did vouch for the lab that did the testing, the latest testing. He said that they're reputable and he trusts their numbers. He's worked with them before. But my question is he did say to me he's never had a sample that he has taken with transformer mineral oil that has ever smelled like diesel or kerosene or had the problems here. That he agreed that makes no sense. So my question is he, am I being misled, or does transformer mineral oil, would that be causing people to have smell of diesel and kerosene in their pipes?
I'm not exactly sure that part, but I know that transformer had mineral oil in it. I can't vouch for that.
Right. But that's the question that people have, is that they have stuff in their pipes and they've been calling and reporting it, and no one has offered until tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, no one has offered to come to people's homes and test it. What is causing that smell? Is it in fact the mineral oil? And what are you guys going to do to figure that out, what it is that's causing that smell?
So from the Department of Health's perspective, there are many causes that are possible. Often odors can be apparent to folks below the minimum detection levels for certain substances. That makes it very difficult to quantify these issues, but we do hear them. And as we've stated with the mayor throughout this incident, that's why we've listened to your complaints and took those into consideration. If we acted specifically off data, there wouldn't have been any reason for the do not consume throughout this incident. The water has always met established water quality standards. But again, we are listening to your observations and taking those into consideration and discussing them every day at the highest levels.
Next question from Terry Ross.
Just one second longer, I was just going to add to what Jason said, that some of the early drinking water samples were taken by the water plant staff from individuals that brought water that they felt had an odor. I wasn't present there. Our staff, I think, did detect an odor. Those samples also did not show any detection for any of the things that would have been in what we were looking for. So it could be something that just as Jason said, there are compounds that the odor threshold, meaning you can smell it at a lower level than a lab can detect it.
Just to go a little bit further, again.
So to clarify, you're saying that transformer mineral oil does have a smell, regardless of the levels or whatever the numbers were. What you're saying is that transformer mineral oil does have a smell of diesel or kerosene.
No, I'm saying that people can perceive smells that may not show up in analytical data. And that's...
But what I'm asking you is, what does transformer mineral oil smell like normally?
There's typically no odor, but I can say from field observations from our inspection staff, as time has gone on, there has been some odor present in areas where this is collected, so this could be some environmental degradation of that, but that's speculation.
Okay, but you guys are working on looking into it. We're going to follow up on that.
We've continued testing this entire time.
Yeah, but those not going home. Just where it's living in the crease.
Joy. Oh.
Can the mineral oil change due to oxidation, and can it change into like the compounds and what's inside and how the transformer is made? Is there a way that rust and everything else? You said that this transformer is in there for what, 74? So can that mineral oil change due to oxidation and just time compacted inside of that transformer?
I would assume that there is some possibility there, but specifically, I don't know.
I got two questions for AEP. Number one is, you said earlier that these transformers have a high risk of being vandalized. I don't understand why they were left on a remote site full of oil when their high percentage of them going to be vandalized. I mean, it looks to me like they should. Can't you guys use the transformers elsewhere after the mine shut down? And number two is, why are there not catch basins under them transformers? Everything we ever had down at the plant had to have a catch basin. If it had oil in it, it had to have a catch basin. And I don't understand why the EPA lets them buy with that. There should be some way to catch that oil before it gets pollutes.
So when I mentioned the vandalism, I wasn't specifically meaning these transformers at that location. I just meant in general, our facilities are apt to be vandalized because of the copper. So it's not just this location, it's any location that we have. So that's where I go back to mention that we always try to make sure we have those security fences in place. We always try to do those routine inspections just to make sure nothing's going on. But again, not an excuse, just factual. We have hundreds of thousands of them, so it's just difficult to get by. Now, as far as the containment, two of those transformers were built in the 70s, and they were believed to be owned by Lexington Coal, and I do not believe that they had those catch-offs underneath it. So two of those transformers owned by Lexington Coal, one of them believed to be owned by us. The two that leaked were the one that leaked, I'm sorry, it was the one that was owned by Lexington Coal, and it did not have that catch-all underneath it. So it was built in the 70s, and it did not have that containment unit. So
That it had to have a catch basin.
yeah, it did not.
If it had oil in it.
Yeah, and at this point, that's obviously a concern that we're trying to raise and have those conversations with other parties. But until we figure that out, we're still going to try to just continue to do right by the community and just support and provide what we can and just step up and be a good partner. We don't want to wait to figure out is it our fault, their fault, whose fault. We just want to kind of step up and just take responsibility right now. Again, I didn't even know. I'd have to look into that because again, I had no idea that those showers. You got it. I'll take a look at it. You don't have to. I'm right here. I got you. I'll find out.
Terry Ross. You was talking about security. January the 15th, I have a friend that lives at East Lynn. And one of her friends just took her car and drove all up through the mines. They went in the buildings. They worked up there years ago. And they drove. No one stopped them.
Lexington Coal was supposed to have security on site. Lexington Coal was to have security on site. There were also supposed to be workers that were demolished.
We try to inspect each location.
January 15th, your security guards was not there.
Perhaps they were roaming. I don't know.
Aren't they a block? They're not a gate that people cannot cross. Just an everyday person should not be up there. If you want to stop your...
I agree.
And put I guess the gate's up there now.
Also, you have to keep in mind that our facilities, where they're located, some you can get to via road, and sometimes you can just come through the back of the woods and access it. So having a road, having a security guard there doesn't prevent, I'm talking about in general, having a security guard on a road doesn't prevent people from coming through the back way and vandalizing. So we try to do what we can to try to keep it secure. Yes, ma'am.
Real quick, folks, if you're driving a Kia with Kentucky tags 26889V, could you please move your vehicle? You've got somebody blocked in.
Devin Hall.
Hello, I'm Devin Hall. I have two questions directly towards AEP and I guess the following parties who are seeking legal actions against you. I know you can't speak on a lot of it, but we was at a commissioner style meeting and they were very quick to tell us that they're putting all the blame on you guys, that they're going to seek legal action for their pipes, for their water heaters. He mentioned a bunch of things and then he said, we can't represent you though, ethically. We can't tell you who to ethically get for a lawyer. So, My next question, is the town hall pursuing the same kind of legal action towards AEP also? Danny?
Not at this time, no.
Why would the commissioner's office feel the need to? They mentioned stuff like overtime costs, accumulated costs from this emergency. You don't have any overtime costs, any accumulated costs that you're going to seek reimbursement for?
We will, yeah.
Are you going to seek reimbursement for the town also?
Yeah.
When they mentioned a letter to you that was drafted and sent to the AEP to ask you guys gracefully, right, to help pay the town's water for the month that we were affected, are we going to have any clause on that, that if they accept your payment, that they can't seek any other form of legalness against you guys? Something you can't answer, correct?
And,
And then last question is the DEP suing AEP?
At this exact moment, no. But as I mentioned, remediation is still ongoing, and we will be resolving our costs and any appropriate penalties once remediation is complete.
One of the other things I want to note too from this meeting is you guys keep mentioning Sheen is present, right? You've said that you've seen it, you've said you've seen it, so what are you guys considering that Sheen? Is that oil? Is that contamination? Is that grease? Is that mud? What is the Sheen that you guys keep referring to? Is that contamination?
So a sheen is a very, very thin film or fine layer of an oil on water. So when we say there's sheen, that is related to this oil. Yes.
Contamination, correct?
Yes.
We're going to ask you as a town, and again, the tests do show, but you have someone here stating that the contamination is still in our water. It is visibly seen to you.
As a point of clarification, so you've asked me, I'm with DEP, about sheen, and I'm describing sheen that is in the waterway. Just as a point of clarification, in our water, in your stream, yes. Just to clarify.
Are you familiar where we get our water from for the town?
Sir,
Okay.
Just to clarify, there's never been a sheen seen inside the water plant. Brad made a very good point. We have to specify locations.
Okay. Perfect. I have one more. And the commissioner meeting too, they mentioned that if we don't pay the water bill, you have a bond that won't be met. And it's our responsibility to meet that bond for you guys. So are we able to get our trash and sewer still done with no water bill in the town of Wayne? I don't want to pay for water to get trash picked up that I'm not using, sir. I don't want to pay for sewer if I'm not using the water portion of that.
Like I said, we are working on that to get AEP to help us with the water bills, yes.
Shane Bryant.
Yeah, my question's for DEP. It's because I worked on the pipeline. We had multiple problems whenever we were working through West Virginia. And it seemed like it was the biggest issue. I mean, we got laid off for a little bit of sediment in the water. And this feels like it's a massive, massive problem. You guys have people out here, what, five boats out there, leaf blowing onto the hillside. And then y'all's gonna go keep going farther down and clean up every hill going close to the water. Is that what y'all's gonna do? On top of that is, I feel like with you guys just having that little bit of cleanup, you guys have more people in AEP giving out water. Why is it not a bigger issue of cleaning it up? Because it's still going farther and farther down. Obviously the ice is going to break the things and everything like that, but I feel like it isn't even a Wayne issue now. It's getting down to Huntington and everywhere else. I feel like it's going to be a lot bigger issue for you guys. And I just want to know what's going to happen. Why are they leaf blowing it up on the hillside? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me or anybody else in here.
So, can you hear me? So the leaf blowing early on was because the oily material was trapped with debris, and just as a point of clarification, that was HEPACO contractors for AEP, that wasn't DEP staff doing that. But that was part of the early remediation because the oil was binding to debris in stream. They would blow it up on the bank to collect it, they're still responsible for remediation in stream where that was blown. Yes.
Mr. Parlow, you got a question? No? Okay, that's all.
Got one question, and I didn't want to ask it, and I deserve to get asked, okay? I'm gonna ask, I pay taxes to this state. So you're saying that it wasn't in the water plant, right?
I said that there was no sheen observed inside the
Okay,
water plant.
sheen. Sheen means oil, okay? And you're saying that it wasn't in the water plant. How does the water get to my meter? I've been doing it too long, son. I'll just go ahead and tell you. It comes through your water plant, to my meter. That's the way it does. It's in the river. So you're telling everybody in here, now I'm a little aggravated. Pastor of a church, but I'm a little aggravated. Okay, because these are our people that we love. You don't live here. We do. So you're telling everybody in this room that they're ignorant, that they're just smelling. You said everybody smells something. We smell what you put in our system. Okay? So I would tell you something. It comes through the water plant. I don't care how much baloney you try to feed us tonight. No, you don't shake your head. I'm a little aggravated now.
Sir, I didn't say
no.
that. I said
You said the sheen was not there.
I said that there was no
These
sheen
people,
observed.
everybody be quiet. I don't want no uproar. I'm just saying this. It got in the water plant. Okay?
I didn't say it didn't.
Okay, then don't stand there and say there's nothing in the water plant. It was in the water. You listen, don't let talk over me. It was in the water plant. It did get to our houses, and you're responsible, and you are, and not these council members, because they didn't know nothing about it. But I'm just saying, we are not ignorant. I know how the system works. One guy even told me, said, well, Danny, it can't get all the way down to the water intakes because they're down deep. I said, well, then call them people in Charleston when West Virginia or American Water didn't shut their plant off and ask them how they got it out in the system. It come through the water plant. That's the only thing. I'm not trying to start up for. I love everybody here. Pastor of church, don't want no hard feelings with nobody. But yet I know this. I know these people here are suffering. We are suffering. I'll tell you this. I come home the other night, my wife's sitting in the house crying. Crying. I called my daughter and said, come out of Georgia and get your mom and take her to Georgia for 2 weeks. So you have disrupted my life. Because now I don't know how to cook. I'm going to have to beg people for something to eat. All right? So you've disrupted our life. You said you didn't know nothing about the shower. I said I wasn't going to say nothing. You said you didn't know nothing about the shower. Knowing you done this, you should have known. You should have made sure they stayed here to protect these people and take care of these people. So, you dropped the ball of not knowing. So I'm just saying, we do got it in our houses. I don't care what you say, anybody says. I watched it the other morning, never even told my wife how the oil just ran across my bathtub. So it is in my house. And we as a community, our whole life has been upset because of this decision.
All right. Thanks, David. We appreciate it. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Well, look at you gonna do, boy. I'm telling you what. Where did you get your lunch from your mama?